Rashid stood in the middle of his dry, cracked field, staring at the sky that had forgotten his name. Months without rain had turned his land into dust, and the weight of unpaid loans pressed on his chest like a stone. That evening, as dark clouds finally gathered, he walked home along the muddy roadside, hoping the storm would bring life back to his crops. A sudden flash of lightning revealed a sleek car stuck deep in the mud ahead. Its tires spun helplessly, splashing dirt in every direction. Rashid hesitated, then moved closer. Inside sat a woman, sharply dressed, her frustration clear as she gripped the steering wheel. She rolled down the window, her voice edged with irritation, asking if he could help. Without a word, Rashid grabbed a wooden plank and positioned it under the tires. Rain began pouring, soaking him completely as he pushed with all his strength. After a few tense moments, the car lurched forward, finally free. The woman stepped out, surprised, her expression softening for the first time. She offered him money, but Rashid shook his head, quietly refusing. He simply said help should not always come with a price. She studied him for a moment, then handed him a card, her eyes holding a hint of curiosity. As she drove away, Rashid looked down at the card, unaware that this small moment would soon pull him into a world far beyond anything he had ever known. The city overwhelmed Rashid the moment he stepped off the crowded bus. Towering glass buildings blocked the sky, and the noise of traffic felt like a constant storm. Clutching the worn business card in his hand, he made his way through unfamiliar streets, asking for directions until he finally stood before a massive corporate headquarters that seemed to touch the clouds. Inside, everything was polished and intimidating. Marble floors, sharp-suited employees, and eyes that judged him the moment he walked in. Rashid approached the reception desk, hesitating before showing the card. The receptionist's expression changed instantly, her tone becoming respectful as she made a call. Within minutes, security escorted him upstairs. When the doors opened, Rashid stepped into a world of power he had never imagined. At the far end of the room stood the same woman he had helped, Zara. But she was no longer the stranded traveler from that stormy night. She stood confident and commanding, giving orders to a room full of executives who listened without question. Their eyes met, and for a brief second, recognition flickered. But it vanished just as quickly. Zara's expression turned cold, distant. She spoke as if she had never seen him before, asking security why he was there. Rashid felt a sharp sting of confusion and anger, holding up the card as proof. She glanced at it briefly, then dismissed him, claiming it meant nothing. As he was escorted out, Rashid realized something was terribly wrong. The woman he had helped was hiding something, and whatever it was far bigger than he had imagined. Rashid refused to leave the city, even after the humiliation. The image of Zara pretending not to know him burned in his mind, but the greater pain was the letter he had received that morning. His land would be seized within weeks. With nowhere else to turn, he took a job at the very company behind it all, starting at the lowest level as a maintenance worker. Days turned into weeks as Rashid quietly observed the world around him. He saw employees silenced, deals made behind closed doors, and decisions that crushed people like his village without a second thought. Yet he kept his head down, working harder than anyone else, earning respect from a few and suspicion from many. One afternoon, while fixing a broken pipe near the executive floor, Rashid overheard a heated argument. Zara's voice, sharp and unyielding, clashed with that of an older man, cold, powerful, and ruthless. Hidden behind the wall, Rashid listened as the truth unraveled. The man wasn't just any executive, he was the owner of the entire empire. And Zara, she was his daughter. But not just a daughter. A secret one. Her identity had been hidden for years, protected from enemies and kept out of public view. Yet it was clear she wasn't like him. She challenged his decisions, questioned his methods, and spoke with a fire that revealed her inner conflict. Rashid stepped back, stunned. The woman who had denied him was living a double life, caught between power and conscience. And suddenly, everything made sense, and became far more dangerous. Rashid couldn't stay silent after learning the truth. The next time he saw Zara alone in a quiet corridor, he stepped in front of her, blocking her path. His eyes burned with anger as he demanded an explanation. For a moment she held on to her usual cold expression, but it cracked under the weight of his words. He accused her of lying, of being part of the same system that was destroying his village. This time, she didn't deny it. Zara pulled him into an empty office, closing the door behind them. Her voice dropped, no longer commanding but conflicted. She admitted who she really was, the hidden heir to a powerful empire she never wanted. She revealed how her life had been controlled, her identity concealed to protect her from enemies who would destroy her to weaken her father. Every move she made was watched, every word calculated. Rashid listened, but his anger didn't fade easily. He told her about the farmers, the families suffering because of decisions made in rooms like these. For the first time, Zara looked shaken. She confessed that she had tried to change things quietly, but her father's grip on the company was too strong. Silence filled the room, heavy with truth and tension. Then Zara made a choice. She asked for his help, not as a worker, but as someone who understood what was at stake. Rashid hesitated, knowing the risk. But if this was a chance to save his land and his people, he couldn't walk away. Rashid and Zara began meeting in secret, choosing quiet corners of the city where no one from the company would think to look. What started as cautious cooperation slowly turned into something deeper. Rashid shared stories of his village, the dry wells, the empty fields, the families holding on to hope with nothing left. Zara listened in silence, each word chipping away at the walls she had built around herself. In return, Zara revealed the inner workings of the company. Hidden accounts, illegal land deals, and the network of powerful figures protecting her father's empire. Together, they started gathering evidence, moving carefully to avoid suspicion. Every step felt like walking on the edge of a blade. As the days passed, the tension between them shifted. Late-night discussions turned into moments of quiet understanding. Rashid began to see the person behind Zara's cold exterior, while she found comfort in his honesty. Something she had never known in her world. But danger was closing in. A senior executive, known for his ruthless instincts, began noticing irregularities. Files were accessed at odd hours, reports quietly altered. He started watching Zara, questioning her decisions, and digging deeper into her past. The truth he uncovered was explosive. Zara's identity as the hidden heir was no longer safe. Before they could act, Rashid was suddenly arrested, accused of financial fraud within the company. The charges were fabricated, but the evidence looked real. As he was taken away, he locked eyes with Zara one last time. And in that moment she knew this was no coincidence. This was a warning. The news of Rashid's arrest spread quickly through the company, twisted into a story of betrayal and greed. Zara watched from her office as the media painted him as a criminal, her hands trembling with anger she could no longer hide. She knew the truth. This was a calculated move to silence them both. For the first time in years, Zara stopped playing by the rules. She walked into the main boardroom unannounced, interrupting a high-level meeting led by her father. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. Without hesitation, she revealed everything, her identity as his daughter, the hidden heir he had kept secret for so long. Gasps filled the room as shock rippled through the executives. Her father's expression darkened, but Zara didn't stop. She exposed the corruption within the company, the illegal land grabs, and the false charges against Rashid. Every word was backed by the evidence they had risked everything to collect. The board erupted into chaos, divided between loyalty and fear. Outside, the media caught wind of the revelation, and the story exploded across the city. The powerful Tycoon's secret daughter had declared war against him. Behind the scenes, Zara used her authority to push for Rashid's release, challenging every obstacle placed in her path. But she knew this was only the beginning. As she stood alone after the storm she had unleashed, Zara realized there was no turning back. she had chosen her side. And now, she would have to fight for it.